When I started joining paranormal groups, I found that somehow they just didn't coincide with my philosophy about paranormal investigation. So I went and formed the biggest paranormal group on the East Coast. The story of my life. Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. I'm Felix, and I've already told you about my first paranormal investigation. I'll actually link that video right here, and how it led to me joining a group called NPPI, National Pennsylvania Paranormal Investigators. One of the worst paranormal group names in creation. I was with them for a little while. I actually kind of became the co-lead investigator for the team, and I kept trying to steer them away from what all of the other paranormal groups in the area were doing, which is very simply trying to be like the teams on the TV. Ghost Hunters, Ghost Adventures, Ghost Brothers. Everybody had a TV show, and all of these paranormal groups were kind of mimicking what they were doing on the TV. And I'm here to tell you that is not possible, because most of them, and I would go as far as to say all of them, were faking it. They were going for sensationalism. They were going for something that they could actually put out there that people would watch. And I'm here to tell you, after 12 years of having done paranormal investigations, a real paranormal investigation is nothing anybody's gonna watch. They're long, they're boring, and you're gonna find yourself almost dozing off until you get that one piece of evidence. So it wasn't possible for these shows to be doing these investigations week after week after week and always coming up with these big pieces of evidence. It just didn't happen. So I was kind of banging my head against the wall with NPPI, to the point where the actual team lead and founder of that team said to me, Felix, you need to run your own team. You don't need to be on a team. You need to be the team. Well, I didn't immediately go to forming my own team. However, I did leave NPPI, and I ended up with a group called Spirit of Pennsylvania. Southeast, I'm going to put the actual name on the screen, but it was Southeast Paranormal Investigation and Research Team. SPIRT. So everybody called it Spirit. And I was with a team lead named Rebecca. They were kind of a little bit more along the lines of researchers, but they still weren't all the way there. The one thing that really bothered me about every team that I'd interacted with, and I interacted with some other teams besides Spirit and NPPI while I was with them, was drama. There was always drama. I hate drama. I've hated drama my whole life. So I was with Spirit for a while, and this is part 3 of my paranormal series. In part 5, I'm going to talk to you about biggest pieces of evidence that I actually did experience, and one of those was with Spirit. But I was with Spirit for a while, probably close to a year. It wasn't for me. I really believe that what Lisa said when I was with NPPI was true. I needed to be the team leader. So I left Spirit. Probably those people on that team never forgave me, because when I left Spirit, I formed the Haunted Operations Team of Pennsylvania. And I took with me from Spirit 3 of their investigators, and from NPPI 2 of their investigators. This was going to be a different kind of paranormal team. We were the first team to start collecting dues. And we did that specifically for the commitment that was involved there. If they were paying dues every month, it was far more likely for them to be truly involved with the team. We ended up, shortly after we formed, becoming an LLC and a nonprofit. We ended up with paranormal investigators from, I think, 5 different teams, and 2 of our investigators actually closed their teams down to join us. And I had some very basic rules. 1, no drama, no sensationalism. And 2, we were going to operate as a scientific team. We were going to operate not on feelings and I'm an empath and, oh, I feel the spirit. No. We were going with hard evidence. And along those lines, I don't know if everybody out there knows what it is, but again, I'll put this on screen. Any EVP, or electronic voice phenomena, that was collected needed to be what was classified in the field as a Class A EVP. I didn't want anybody sitting around going, no, I think he said this. No, I think it says this. No. And my third biggest rule, orbs are not signs of paranormal presence. There have been uncountable amount of times that the TV shows, other paranormal groups that I was involved with, have tried to show an orb and say, oh, there was a presence there. No, there was dust in the room, or there was a bug that flew across. Give me hard evidence. Well, what ended up happening with these rules in place was that Haunted Operations Team of Pennsylvania became the largest paranormal group at the time on the East Coast. We were going with 35 investigators. It got so big and so known that other paranormal groups, and I actually had evidence of this, were going into potential investigations and saying, oh, we know the guys from Haunted Operations Team. And what would end up happening is we would get the investigation. It was big, and it grew big quick. And I'm sad to say that in about a year and a half, it ended up dying just as quickly because of breaking my number one rule of no drama. That's kind of a whole different story, and actually that story doesn't fit in well with this paranormal series. That is something that I'll probably talk about in a future video. Haunted Operations Team still lives today. There were two offshoots of it. Haunted Operations Team of Oklahoma and Haunted Operations Team of North Carolina. And the people within the group in Pennsylvania ran it for a little while. Afterwards, they haven't had any real activity in about 4 or 5 years now. But I was very proud of that group. I was very happy with that group. It got destroyed by breaking my number one rule. Next week, I'm not going to be doing anything in the paranormal series. This series is going to be 5 videos in all. So there will be 2 videos after next week that will be in this series. But next week, I am going to be talking about September 11th and my experiences living in the Bronx and working on Long Island when it happened. I'm Felix, and these are the stories of my life.